Welcome to Analysis Hole, the black hole to explore knowledge. Please like and subscribe for further notifications. Thank you. Now, students, write some of the important, very short questions from the Son of Man, and this will be helpful for your objective type questions. You can take the right answer from the four options. Now, question 1 is, what is the Son of Man? Answer: a reference to Jesus Christ in Christian theology. Who wrote the poem Wasteland? Answer is T.S. Eliot, क्योंकि ये जो सन ऑफ मैन है वेस्टलैंड का ही पार्ट है. 3. Is Wasteland a famous poem? Yes. What is the theme of Wasteland? The disillusionment and despair of post-World War I society. When was Wasteland published? It was first published in 1922. How many parts are there in Wasteland? There are 5 parts in Wasteland. Which part of Wasteland contains the reference to Son of Man? तो कहाँ पर Son of Man का रेफरेंस दिया गया है वेस्टलैंड में? आंसर पार्ट 3 टाइटल्ड द फायर sermon. What is the significance of the Son of Man in the poem? The Son of Man symbolizes redemption and hope amidst the spiritual desolation of the wasteland. What does the wasteland symbolizes in the poem? It represents a spiritually barren and morally bankrupt society. How does the reference to Son of Man relate to the wasteland? Answer: it suggests the possibility of a spiritual renewal and salvation in a desolate world. What other religious references are there in the wasteland? The poem contains references to Hinduism, Buddhism, and Christianity. What is the meaning of the phrase, "These fragments I have showed against my ruins"? It signifies the speaker's attempt to find meaning and preserve fragments of knowledge in a crumbling world. Does Wasteland have a happy ending? No, the poem ends on a note of bleakness and uncertainty. What is the overall tone of Wasteland? It is a somber and pessimistic poem. Are there any hopeful elements in the wasteland? Despite the overall despair, there are glimpses of hope and possibility of redemption. What is the importance of water imagery in wasteland? Water symbolizes purification, renewal, and possibility of spiritual rebirth. What are some other notable lines or phrases from wasteland? These are some of the notable lines. April is the cruelest month. I will show you fear in a handful of dust, and we grope together and avoid speech gathered on this beach of the Tumid River. How does Son of Man fit into the broader narrative of Wasteland? It serves as a moment of spiritual awakening and a glimmer of hope within the wasteland. Is Son of Man a recurring motif in Wasteland? No, it appears as a specific reference in part 3. What is the significance of the title of Son of Man? It emphasizes the human nature of Jesus Christ and his role as a redeemer. Does Son of Man have a biblical connotation? Yes, it is a title used for Jesus in the New Testament. What other works is T.S. Eliot known for? T.S. Eliot is known for his poems, the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock, and 4 quartets. Has Wasteland been analyzed extensively by literary scholars? Yes, it is considered one of the most important poems of the 20th century and has been subject to extensive analysis. Does Son of Man have any cultural or religious significance beyond the poem? Yes, the phrase Son of Man holds religious significance in Christianity and has been interpreted in various ways of theologians. Are there any film adaptations of Wasteland? There is no widely recognized film adaptation of the entire poem, but some parts of it have been incorporated into films or documentaries. Is Wasteland a challenging poem? to understand? Yes, it is known for its complex imagery and illusions, which can make it difficult to interpret. What is the role of Son of Man in the larger context of the poem's themes? It represents the possibility of salvation and spiritual transformation amidst the wasteland's decay. Is Son of Man a symbol of hope? Yes, it can be interpreted as a symbol of hope and divine intervention in the midst of despair. Are there any religious motifs throughout the entire Wasteland poem? Yes, religious motifs are present throughout the poem, reflecting the spiritual crisis of the modern world. How does Son of Man reference connect to the poem's title Wasteland? It offers a contrast to the desolation and suggests the potential for renewal within the wasteland. What emotions does the Son of Man evoke in the reader? It can evoke a sense of longing, hope, and contemplation of spiritual possibilities. Does the mention of Son of Man provide a resolution into the poem? No. The mention of Son of Man is more of a momentary glimpse of hope rather than a resolution. What is the role of spirituality in Wasteland? Spirituality serves as a central theme, highlighting the absence and search for meaning in the modern world. How does Son of Man contribute to the overall structure of Wasteland? It adds a moment of spiritual illumination with the larger narrative of despair and disillusionment. Can Son of Man be interpreted in a non-religious context? While the phrase originates from religious texts, it can be interpreted symbolically beyond its religious connotations. Does Son of Man reference have a personal significance for T.S. Eliot? Answer: it is difficult to determine the personal significance for the poet, as interpretations can vary. What is the impact of Son of Man? Reference to the reader's perception of the poem. It can evoke a sense of hope and provoke deeper reflection on themes of spirituality and redemption. How does the reference to Jesus Christ align with the overall mood of Wasteland? It provides a contrast to the prevailing mood of despair, offering a glimmer of hope. Does Son of Man represent a religious figure or a common man? It represents a religious figure, especially Jesus Christ. Is Son of Man the only religious reference in part 3 of Wasteland? No. Part 3 contains multiple religious references, including allusions to the Bhagavad Gita and Buddha's fire sermon. Can Son of Man be seen as a symbol of resurrection? Yes, it can be interpreted as a symbol of resurrection and the promise of new life. How does the mention of Son of Man relate to the overall narrative of the poem? It introduces a moment of divine intervention and the possibility of spiritual revival in a desolate world. Is Son of Man reference open to multiple interpretations? Yes. As with many symbols and allusions in poetry, the interpretation of Son of Man can vary based on individuals' readers' perspectives. Does the mention of Son of Man provide a religious perspective on the wasteland? Yes. It introduces a religious perspective and offers a potential path towards spiritual restoration. Does the Son of Man reference suggest a solution to the problems presented in the poem? Answer: while it offers a glimmer of hope, it does not present a definite solution to the problems within the wasteland. How does the Son of Man reference contribute to the overall imagery of the poem? It adds a religious and transcendent element of the imagery, juxtaposing the spiritual with the barren wasteland. Can the mention of Son of Man be seen as a critique of society? It can be interpreted as a critique of a society that has lost touch with its spiritual foundations. Does the mention of Son of Man mark a turning point in the poem? It marks a moment of revelation and heightened spiritual awareness within the larger narrative. Does the mention of Son of Man suggest the possibility of salvation? Yes, it suggests the possibility of salvation and the redemption of the wasteland's spiritual emptiness. How does the Son of Man reference resonate with readers today? It continues to resonate by prompting contemplation of spirituality, hope, and the search for meaning in a complex and troubled world.